Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, I'm still hoping that what came in like a lion will go out like a lamb. It's time. And it's also time to wish special birthday greetings to my dear friend Bob, who, although I've only known him for 5 years, and I wish I had known him much longer, it's not the length of time we know someone. It's the quality of the relationship. And Bob's heart touches the soul of everyone who meets him. And Bob, you continue to inspire those who are fortunate enough to call you friend. He shared something with me that I want to make sure gets shared with many, many others. And I also had a chance this week to speak to a dear old friend of mine, Alan, who I've known for probably about 30 years. And isn't it strange how we may know people but not speak to them as frequently as we would like? And he said to me, he speaks to me every week. And that, dear friends, is also true. We do not need to have someone close by to speak with them, to speak with their spirit, their souls. We are forever connected, each of us, all of us. So let's share that connection right now as we come together as a community, a like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit, the collective consciousness of seekers coming together in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all. In this community, House of Spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Hine Matov. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, community, community together. It's a ways of community, my friends. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, it is your sending some of that goodwill that we all generate out to the universe, and it will be found. So we're in the throes of spring, and newness is in the air, and the new moon is coming. We talked about it a little last week. We're going to talk about it again now. And when the new moon is coming, that means the new year is coming. Remember, Purim taught us that anything can happen, and we can learn to expect the unexpected. Well, you know, it's a great anticipation to have. And you will find that far more wonderful things happen than negative things when you have an anticipation of things going on. Now, the new year, well, that's your chance to imprint on the blank canvas of life the energy that you want for the year ahead. The first 12 days represent the 12 months of the year. Begins on the 5th. So for those of you who are interested, we will be making available our annual booklet that suggests the energy of each day and gives you highlights, suggestions, and a place to write down your hopes, dreams, and wishes for that month and for the year ahead. Now just send us an email, and I'll be more than happy to forward it to you. And in anticipation of the new year and the new renewed you, let's invoke healing and renewal for everybody you know, and for the souls and spirits of everybody you know. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, my friends. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. For Bob, for Alan, for Coco, for Paris, for Ben, for Alex and Veronica, for Gloria and Lindsay, for the bee, of course. And, my friends, for all of you. This time of newness, you need renewal too. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each and every one of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Bakor HaBracha, Libotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing, the renewal of body, the renewal of Spirit. Let us sing. Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. I guess I should have put my name in too. I've had a terrible cold of late. But this, my friends, is the great prayer for healing. We should call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because healing is a blessing. So let's all heal as we close out this year with hopes, dreams, and wishes to carry us into the next. Now, we've waited the 7 days with Aaron and his sons for their final installation as priests, guardians of ritual, arbiters of law. We're at the 8th day as we read Shemini 8. Leviticus 10:1. And the sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, took each of them his fire pan and put fire in it, and placed incense upon it, and brought forward alien fire, because the Lord, which He had not charged them. And fire came out from before the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Well, now that the elaborate system of sacrificial regulations, capped by the rites of installation, is completed, we are reminded what a dangerous business the cult is by the catastrophe that befalls the two sons of Aaron when they violate cultic procedure. This is one of the only two narrative episodes in all of Leviticus. So here's what's happened. The big days arrived on the 8th day of the inauguration, the first official day of service in the tabernacle. Aaron and his sons followed a very specific and special ritual designed by God and instructed to Moses. Everything seemed to be going beautifully. But then the unimaginable occurred. Aaron's two sons perform a ritual and are killed. Well, at first glance, Nadab and Abihu appear to be transgressors who didn't listen to the word of God and were punished as a result. And perhaps that's true. But the commentaries in the Midrashim paint a very different picture of Nadab and Abihu, as well as the circumstances surrounding their death. Now, I'm not going to go into all of them, but suffice it to say that you will read that they were the greatest of the great, and that they were clean from sin, that God treasured them. And you will even read that they were considered the reincarnation of the positive aspects of Adam and Eve's son, Cain. The new priesthood was just sitting there for 7 days, being inaugurated, about to create far more questions than answers. People asking questions, lost in confusion. Will I tell them there's no problem, only solutions? Well, they shake their heads, they look at me as if I've lost my mind. I told them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. So what actually did go wrong? How did such incredible souls end up dying what may be the most bizarre and tragic deaths in the Bible? That to be taken just like a sacrifice in the same words as are used to describe a sacrifice. Well, again, there is much written about this. Now, according to many commentaries, it wasn't the foreign fire itself that was the cause of their death. Rather, Nadab and Abihu were being punished for other infractions. And I thought we heard that they were great, so I always got confused about this. Words, my friends, are important in the Torah, and the adjective zara, alien, strange, or even unfit, which are used to translate this, indicates in cultic context a substance or person not consecrated for entrance or use in the sacred precinct. And we've now learned that there is sacredness to where people are located. And therefore some have used it as a translation for unauthorized. Now the consensus of modern interpreters with precedence in the classical midrash is that the fire is alien because it has been taken from a profane source, that is, coals taken from an ordinary oven. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but there is so much written about this, you can just go wild reading about it. And the description of the fire that engulfs them, like I said, is the exact same phrase used to report the act of divine acceptance of a sacrifice by which a supernatural flame consumes the offerings on the altar. The zone of the holy, where the divine presence takes up its headquarters, is intrinsically dangerous, and from a certain point of view, radically ambiguous. When proper procedures are followed, which is a virtual obsession of these priestly writers, miraculous signs of God's favor are manifested. When procedures are violated, God becomes a consuming fire. Even the greatest must follow the proper procedures. In fact, the higher you are in the spiritual pyramid, the greater the fall if you don't follow procedures. Now, this whole scene was to show the separation of the new priestly class from the others. And there's that theme again. Division, separation. So out of the blue, they start talking about the kashrut rules, Leviticus 11:1, because it's all about separation and division. And the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the Israelites, saying, these are the beasts that you may eat of all the animals that are on the land." Now, and I say the kashrut rules, but it's not really. Those rules actually come much later, my friends. This is a preliminary breakdown. These are just some of the more categorical, many of which we don't really know, but we guess what animals or birds they're talking about. And we all know what the basic foods are, and you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. Now, leave out the pig, who's singled out. And for animals, it all makes sense. Pasture animals are food. Hunters, including the big five, are not. Chickens, turkeys, grain-eating birds are. Birds of prey are not. Hey, nothing that kills and nothing that eats the dead can actually be eaten. And fish are just bizarre. They have to have scales. Except, of course, for the kosher lobster and shrimp, which so many seem to like. Well, it's not 100%, but it's a pretty good idea of how best to follow a relatively obedient kosher diet. The actual kashrut rules are rabbinic and a little more complicated than this. But what's important is that verb, the one that governs all of Leviticus, to separate. This is the beginning of hearing about separation and division, pretty well for the rest of the book. We're also going to begin hearing a lot about clean and unclean, pure and impure. And hidden after this group of rules, notice in Leviticus 11:43, the greatest warning of the Bible, avoid the mob. Leviticus 11:45, and you shall not make yourselves unclean through any swarming thing that swarms on the earth. For I am the Lord who has brought you up from the land of Egypt to be for you a God, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. Now, there's a great message here. Swarming things, that is the mob, makes you unclean. God freed you from slavery and constraints. He is holy. Therefore, you will be holy. Because the spread of holiness, my friends, is a good contagion. And the Parsha ends by going back to the beginning. This is the teaching about beast and bird and every living creature that stirs in the water and every swarming thing that swarms on the earth, to divide between the unclean and the clean, between the animal is eaten and the animal that shall not be eaten, to divide, to separate, to return to creation. Because the restated verb, to divide, is a key to the priestly account of creation in Genesis 1. The world comes into coherent being when God divides the chaotically interfused primal elements, light and darkness, waters above, waters below, the sea and the dry land, all from each other. Here the Israelites are commanded to emulate God by setting up a framework for daily life in which they are to divide between the unclean and the clean, between what is forbidden and what is permitted to be eaten. Yes, my friends, the world and all that's in it is sacred. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, and honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy your journey, my friends. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. Because remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any other person you've wronged. Then ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, and with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be a forgiving and compassionate person. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of your real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support we all have or could have, that special someone in our lives. So find them and tell them what they mean. And remember that you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They can hurt you, they can heal you, they can imprison you, and they can free you. Think about the people you need to forgive, those you need to ask forgiveness of. Forgiveness comes from acceptance, and that brings peace, and peace, my friends, will last forever. And think of the regrets you have, and what you need to move past them. You are being watched out for, so always be kind. Do not get caught up in fear. Enjoy the week. Remember, the new year is upon you. Make the choice in how you want it to unfold. You're in complete control. You need to have the vision of where you want to go. I've been traveling through the dirt and the grime, from the past to the future, through the space and the time, traveling deep beneath the waves, in watery grottos and mountainous caves. But oh Lord, we've got to fight the thoughts in the head, with the dark and the light. No use to stop and stare if you don't know where you're going. Any road will take you there. Now go and make your wishes for the year. Create a vision. Expect the unexpected. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care, my friends, and send a note if you want to get a copy of that booklet. Okay, take care. Bye.